These are the thoughts of Cloud Strife. I know you can hear me, players.
No, they
When can I...
can't.
So this is what's going on in Cloud's mind?
Well, he's leveling up
Well,
a Barrett's weapon.
this is actually what's going on in my deeper 10th section of my mind here.
I'm miles away from home.
Okay, I appreciate the references, Jova. Sorry, Cloud. But this is not Xenogears. You can't have particular psychological stuff. Leave that to Monolith.
Well, I was referencing Captain Scarlet, but anyway, I'm stuck here, miles from home, and my only company is a bloody yandere who won't leave me alone.
I mean, I guess she doesn't seem as bad as in the older version, where she was definitely a downright yandere towards me. But
Jova. Sorry, go on.
But you know what I mean? And the craziest thing I've seen her do is just talk to a bunch of flowers, and hey, at least I got some material out of that conversation.
But Jova, according to Japan, she's ugly for some
reason. We'll get to that section.
Well, we can do it. We can do it now, considering Dwibs is just leveling up the weapon.
Basically, Shiroi, according to this,
during the development of this game, because apparently, for Japan's beauty standard, Aerith's face, at least in early trailers, looked ugly.
Yep.
I remember seeing the initial reaction, actually.
Like, I guess because I'm a filthy gaijin, I simply don't get it. Because it really is like beauty standards are really different for our cultures, but it didn't look too bad.
Not only that, in-game we'll have NPCs that suggest that Aerith is just plain looking.
I'm not sure if it was something about her looking too old. I don't remember.
No, TV Drops is a specific quote. I'll get it in the meantime. Go on.
Well, Theo, knowing Japan, maybe it's because they don't think her boobs look big enough. Maybe.
No. It's about the face specifically, Pedro.
Yeah.
But there is actually a particular culture about A-cup angst. So.
I guess.
It's an entire trope of its own.
Pretty much. That's the reason why characters like Etna in this Gaia tends to be popular. There we go.
Okay, one thing that I do like about, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but when you switch weapons, the material you had in your previous equipped weapon automatically goes over to the new one.
That is nice.
Well, Theo, considering she's a yandere, maybe they should do that thing that anime does, where some girls have one vampire tooth, but that's it. That's all
the buck tooth,
the buck tooth thing.
I think he means like.
Etna actually has it, the character was referring to before, so yeah, there's also that too. But anyway, here's the proper quote. While Western fans universally embraced Aerith's new design, revealing the May 9th, 2019 trailer, Japanese reception was more mixed due to different beauty standards. Most Japanese fans disliked Aerith's face, saying it looked too long and Western. This is because Eastern beauty standards prefer smaller and rounder faces. Weird.
Basically, her face is not anime enough, I guess.
It's not an anime. Even though, I don't know.
It's not so much it being anime enough, it's literally them having their own preference when it comes to the statistics and the stats, the dimensions of her face.
When you think about it, Terry, it kind of does make sense, because remember, Roberto is the one designing the characters in this one.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that the faces would be a bit more westerny. So they want Nomura. They want. My guess is they prefer Nomura's more pure anime from the original game.
I can imagine that. I simply put, I just don't get it. Probably because I'm really that a stranger to this cultural difference.
Let's just chalk it up to arbitrary preferences.
Values dissonance, I think it's a right term. I don't know.
Yeah, your mileage may vary.
Japanese FF7 fans are like you westernized my FF7, but ruined forever.
But
I honestly argue Final Fantasy 13 was a worse westernization of Final Fantasy. But,
and yet apparently a lot of them love that. Well, in Japan anyway. Since apparently, let's not forget, Pedro, according to Square Enix, the reason us Western folk didn't like 13 was because we don't get it.
Also remember, Pedro, Lightning scored #1 on the top female Final Fantasy characters for a long time.
Well, okay, for the first game, I guess, but the second game sold horribly in Japan.
Remember, Famitsu still gave me the completed 40 out of 40 score, for fuck's sake.
Teo, I don't think even Japan takes Famitsu seriously anymore.
I'll mention later.
Actually, they kind of do.
Okay, back to the story.
Yeah.
Right.
A little.
Elmyra seems to be more
I want you to make up the guest room.
gruff, yeah.
She looks exactly how I've always.
No, I'm talking about attitude right now.
Oh, attitude. Well, honestly, I think it makes
No,
sense.
I'm talking right now. She's about to mention.
Judging by those eyes, I'm guessing you're a soldier.
Ex-soldier.
Everyone says that.
Yeah.
I hate to ask, but would you leave tonight?
Oh.
without any
What?
fuss
Oh,
or
well, that was sudden.
Well, this is what she says in the original too.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
actually.
it is.
I think in the original, Cloud just wants to get away on its own.
Okay. It's a mix of both. She does say this, but it was more so Cloud also wanting to leave too. But yeah, she does say this still. I think what's different is the tone behind it. Like, well,
Pretty much.
something
Elmyra
about
is afraid. Sorry, go on.
okay.
Not to mention, when we hear her backstory later, it will make a lot more sense anyway. So.
In the original, oh, look at that!
Oh.
Cloud's mother, who's officially named Claudia.
Claudia. How original.
Claudia Strife.
So yeah, it turns out when I made a joke about Cloud being called Claudia when cross-dressing, looks like I may have been onto something.
She's voiced by Jenny Tirado. Let me check what she did.
I
Keep in
wonder.
mind,
Mother isn't
this is
very
a-
good at naming
Keep in mind,
things.
this is an only speaking moment in this game, so it's actually hired an actress. Oh, she's being the voice of Pan for Dragon Ball Super. Oh, weird.
Wait,
Oh,
Basically, she's a veteran
by
anime
the
voice
way-
actress.
By the way, Cloud, could you pass me that box over there? Got a feeling I might need it soon.
sure, Mom.
All right,
those
guess
were
what's
the
back
good
with a
days.
vengeance? This stealth minigame.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
This
Yeah.
ba-
Basically, you have to try and sneak out of the house without banging into
I
anything. or
argue
else,
it's much more difficult to
Okay.
or else Aerith will come out and drag you back, push you back to your room.
So here's the thing. In the original, all you had to do was
okay.
just sneak
No,
by
let's see if I can-
quietly.
Let's see if I can get out. Oh.
Hold on. It was just the tutorial giving to you.
Yeah. All right. Tutorial first. Okay. One
Bonk.
step. Oh.
To be fair, the game will try to throw a bone at you, and the more time you fail, the more objects it will remove between you and the stairs.
Fine, we'll remove the objects here since you apparently suck at this.
Okay. So I fucked up by taking one step.
If you recall, in the original, all you had to do was basically walk by slowly enough so that she wouldn't hear you. In this, though, they added in objects that you had to maneuver around. And apparently Aerith has incredibly super hearing, must be her sexual heritage.
she has light sleep. What the
All right.
fuck?
The key. What I like to do now is to aim the camera at the ground so I'll know where I'm stepping, so I won't bang into anything, and so Aerith won't
Look at that dash cancelling, Jova.
Yeah, I know. That just looks beautiful. See, I learned it from Smash tournaments how to do dash canceling.
From Fox.
Well, wait. Why are you asking us, Elmyra? Why are you asking us to leave? Why are you asking us? Are you leaving? You told us to leave.
Promise me, you'll never talk to Aerith again. Please.
Well, fuck you too.
She's just confirming.
Any particular reason?
She's very
We will learn that later.
Well, we do learn at the end of chapter 13 why.
Also, let's not
he's not
forget.
there yet.
Also, not only that, Dwibs, but to be fair, we have seen that Aerith's life is complicated.
Imagine Elmyra. She's just thinking that Aerith is gonna do her chores and come back when she pops around with this quarter beef of a soldier with a huge sword on his back and said that it's basically her new boyfriend. What would you think?
Mind
It
you,
won't be
this
any
is...
of my business provided you treat so well.
Well, anyway.
I'm actually surprised you only failed once, Jess. I was expecting you to fail a lot more.
Well,
Yeah, you perform better than me at first, at least. So good job.
Well, yeah, the key is to, well, since the key was not to bang into anything, I just aimed my camera at the ground.
And make sure to give my thanks to Aerith, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, then sure. Thank you, Aerith!
Well,
All right, this is also a good time to mention the time scale, because in the original, also due to the slums...
hold on.
Yes?
I think we're about to get to that point. All right, then.
Sure, but will be time later for me to speak that anyway. Go on.
Well, so yeah, I suppose that you keep checking the map. Okay, then.
Just to, be sure where to go.
Just to make sure I know where I'm going.
Of course.
Sure.
Oh, but first let's take that bit. Ooh, 200 gil, thank you very much. Probably
nice.
that old guy who Carl pissed off earlier.
Well, gotta say, I am kind of gonna miss Aerith.
At least we're never gonna see her again.
I mean, she was nice company to have around. It's just sometimes I really think that I could imagine. What the fuck?
She's still teleported. I have no idea how she got here first.
Don't you see, Aerith?
What are you doing here?
Aerith, question.
I don't know how she got there, actually.
Okay, Aerith, legit question. Did talking to the flowers give you teleporting powers? Because
I mean, Pedro, knowing what we know, I'm surprised they didn't use this as a moment for the Dementors to actually bring her in forcefully.
Oh god, the teleportation is getting to me!
Actually, yeah, now that I think about it, well, that's the thing, Teo. Remember, like, in the... remember, Teo, that's not how it goes, that's not how it originally went, so of course the Whispers wouldn't do anything.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe we would have, played around by Aerith actually not being able to go there, but, the Dementors would have forcefully dragged her here.
Okay.
So, good news. Aerith's back in the party.
Reunited.
Chapter 9, The Town That Never Sleeps.
Okay,
Go ahead, Trouble.
Okay, Aerith, so we've established that you can teleport at will here, because there's no way in the flipping donkey Christ that you were somehow able to sneak up behind me and get ahead of me without teleporting.
Well, without spoiling anything, Teo, my favorite moment of those, the one in chapter 17 where they suddenly come in and
to avoid spoilers.
Attack. No, that's the thing. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm being vague.
No. They have a moment in universe where they want to avoid spoilers in chapter 17. I think.
Yeah. Then they attack a certain person and drive him out of the fucking room. That was hilarious.
No spoilers allowed.
No,
but
more like he's not supposed to know that yet.
Okay, but all right. So.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to learn some lore.
Yeah. So, War Market. What's this all about?
Well, they say if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
I enlisted pretty much right after I left home. Don't know much about this place or any of the slums.
Well, it took a lot of people to build Midgar, and they all needed to blow off steam.
Huh.
So some traders built an entertainment
Depends what kind of steam.
It does make sense.
So tell me, Aerith, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fun is it down there?
I'd give it a solid 6.
Huh. Neat. I've heard some people rate it as 9.
Well, I mean, it could have been worse.
Yeah, Aerith like
2.
Aerith is like, you will never find a more wretched place of wretched scum and villainy.
You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Pretty much, that's what you're doing.
Well, in that case, then we should probably avoid that place and just go straight to Sector 7.
It wouldn't be a Sakaguchi story if it didn't rip off Star Wars in some way.
And Nomura himself also has his huge love boner for it, so yeah.
Well, Teo, maybe that's why they created the story together back in the day. They bonded over their mutual love of Star Wars, and this is the result. And Final Fantasy VII story was the result. That maybe was it.
You know,
it's cute because in turn, Star Wars was created being a mashup of movie genres, including Akira Kurosawa's classics. So it all comes full circle.
Well, yeah, that just goes without saying. Basically, everybody, and for those who may not be aware, when it comes to the original Final Fantasy, Nomura and Sakaguchi came up with the story, and the script was co-written by Kitase and Nojima, who was the screenwriter for this remake.
Just like with this, Toriyama was just a scenario planner, basically. But no, what I was saying before instead is, now it's a good time for the game to tell you a sense of timing, because in the original game you didn't really get an idea how much time was passing, maybe like a day or two. Here, basically from now on, everything that's gonna happen, at least for like chapter 13, I think, it's gonna happen during the course of one single night. So it's gonna be basically Cloud's most busy night to date.
Oh boy, so is this going to be the worst night of my life?
Also,
sorry.
Cloud and Aerith's excellent adventure.
Also, apparently Yamazu has dusted off his 13, scrapped concepts for music, because this sounds a lot like the music you're in 13 too.
Definitely.
Wouldn't that be more Hamazu?
Yeah, that's what I said, Amazu.
I thought it said Umatsu.
No.
He said
Once again,
Amazu.
Uematsu composed only the vocal theme, similar to how he's doing it for Final Fantasy 14.
They're like Stormblood.
Well, he did that also for all the previous expansion, Realm Reborn, Heavensward, and more recently also Shadowbringers.
I thought someone else did the theme for that.
I think it's still him. It's just different vocalist, because his usual muse is Amy Evans, or vocalist, but she's not doing that. Oh, here's a cool thing. You may remember this dungeon from the original game as the section where Aerith and Cloud pass in order to get to Sector 6, the Wall Market. One thing that you may remember from the dungeon was a gigantic robotic hand protruding from the rubbles. In the original game, it was basically intended to be just, the wreckage of a mecha, pretty much, something that Sheena constructed. In this game, they decided to implement it in a different way.
Tio, I looked up on the Final Fantasy wiki.
Yeah. Go on.
Actually, the guy who composed Shadowbringers is Masayoshi Soken.
The proper theme, you mean?
Yeah, the theme for the game, aka
aka
the main composer for Final Fantasy 14.
I'm guessing it may have been because it was the time period where Uematsu was feeling sick, so it may be because of that.
There's actually a song in Shadowbringers called "Smells Like Teenage."
I get the feel that's a thing to remember. I mean, Nobuo Uematsu for a long time was known as the John Williams of video games, considering he was the first one to bring video game music to such a cinematic. Sweeping scale to it. I get the feeling Uematsu is getting to the same point that John Williams is at right now too. I think it's getting to the point where he's gonna primarily only work with Sakaguchi, much like Williams is only working with Steeler at this point. And for the most, he's semi-retired, if you may say.
Well, again, he also had unfortunately a lot of an episode of being sick.
Yeah,
anyway,
all right, Aerith, get on, and I will pilot you up top.
Okay, Liz, I don't know if you do it later with the dungeon, but you can do some interesting, stupid shit with the armor. Like you can bang repeatedly Aerith's head with it.
Okay, I didn't know you could do that.
That's all.
It's some funny stuff, Dwibs.
Again, Dwibs, there's a lot of potentially funny stuff you could do with Aerith that you surprisingly have not. Like I said before, that part where she swears you can actually leave her hanging and she'll chastise you
There's also,
for it.
I'm not even joking, I don't know if you're getting it, I don't know if it's gonna happen in this part or the next, but there's a little point. Oh yeah, it's a start running gag.
Yeah.
High five.
No.
Awkward.
Sorry.
I'm too cool for that.
Sorry.
Keep that in mind.
No.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it also what I was about to say because it's best to be seen for yourself. Oh.
Wow. Jesus, these...
prototype.
Yeah, these things just don't leave us alone.
Okay, Aerith, just follow my lead. Also, sorry I didn't double high-five you, but I'm trying to keep it immature. Let's just say, so long as I have to do nothing embarrassing this night, we should be A-okay. Maybe after the vlog is over, then I'll give you that double high-five.
But Claude, I told you I'm doing my own vlog.
That's another reason why I couldn't do the double high-five.
But yeah,
come on, all 13 of my subscribers want to see it.
But yeah, I get the feeling too that Uematsu has really reached the same point as Williams. I think at this point, Sakaguchi is going to be his only primary customer at this point.
We'll see.
All right.
In terms of full soundtracks, obviously he still did a theme for this game, but in terms of composing an entire soundtrack, I think only Sakaguchi will get that privilege from this point on.
Pedro, you fool. Of course he'll come back for the sequel of Fairy Fencer F.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, remember, Joe, we only composed 2 themes for Fairy Fencer F1, so it's not like it would be that much of a trouble.
Exactly.
I mean, all they need is for him to compose like 1 note, and there you go. Now they can put his name on the game. That's basically the idea. Well, that's exactly the point, Dwibs. Let's face it, that's the only reason they got him for that game. Compose 2 tracks so they can put his name on the marketing.
Hey guys, you want a game with artwork by Yoshiaki Amano and
Yoshitaka
Amano and Yoshitaka Amano.
Yeah. It's like Tio said, the most recent stuff he's done has been mostly the themes for 14. Well, except Shadowbringers. He did the themes for Realm Reborn, Heaven's Sword,
and Stormblood.
If I remember correctly, the last time he scored an entire soundtrack of Final Fantasy was the original 14, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But unfortunately, 14 was 14.
Yeah. Well.
Did they at least preserve Uematsu's original music in some way?
Yes, in some form capacity, yes. They did recompose a lot of the dungeon theme, but the originals are preserved for specific sections.
Alright, now we just have to traverse this tricky terrain.
That reminds me,
First we have to battle the seahorses.
Pretty much.
That reminds me, Teo, is Sakaguchi still working on that mobile RPG of his? I forgot the name.
Which one?
Terra Wars, I think.
Terra Wars.
So
I've
I
heard,
haven't checked, to be honest.
Last I've heard, he still is.
I'm checking right now.
What exactly is the premise of that game?
I don't know, Joe.
I actually know about this. Basically, it's part of a series that focuses around a dying world and people fighting to survive about it. Not necessarily post-apocalyptic, but with a lot of depressing undertones.
So, like a mixture of Final Fantasy X and 9, it sounds like.
Oh, great. There we go. Terra Battle. The last game that we did was Terra Battle 2, but it basically... nobody didn't care about it, and the servers shut down on September 2018.
Holy crap. Apparently, as of 2017, and this was 3 years ago, it might have changed, it only had 15 employees at Studio Mistwalker. That's not a good sign at all.
Mistwalker has seen better days, needless to say.
Yeah. Well, Sakaguchi-san, don't get me wrong, I love you, but maybe if you had put some kind of effort into making Blue Dragon an acceptable game, maybe you wouldn't be in this position by this point.
It really is amazing how much damage Blue Dragon did. Like, even though Lost Odyssey was a pretty good game, the damage was done.
It's like Yuji Naka's old studio. It got to the point where Yuji Naka had to quit his own studio and get employment at Square.
Well, Dwibs, to be fair, that was when it comes to Rodea the Sky Soldier, that was primarily Kadawaka Games, the publisher, being incredibly shitty.
And East America not helping at all with the localization.
Yeah.
You're really tempting me, Aerith. You're really tempting me, but I still have to hold strong.
And speaking of that, what exactly is Yuji Naka doing at Square?
It's actually doing a game. They reported recently that his project is actually still going on strong, and he should be able to present something soon enough.
It's most likely a mobile game.
I was checking online. It says he's developing a new action game for Square.
Oh.
The news was instead that Hideo Baba and his studio instead canceled what they were doing and instead has left for different pastures.
So, curious, guys, what are your thoughts on this minigame? Me, personally, I like it.
I struggled quite a bit.
It's a nice way to reincorporate what was the thing that struck visually the most about the original dungeon, and incorporating a different way.
Anyway, what you're seeing here is basically an edited Yeah, you're seeing an edited version of my attempt. I was struggling quite a bit. I even had to watch another YouTube playthrough to know what to do.
Damn, Dwibs, remind me again how good you are at the late-on games.
Well, luckily, Tio, those kind of games are more simple kinds of puzzles.
I argue this puzzle is very simple, to be honest.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Allow me to help you there. I think this means that it's much easier for him there because he can easily consult a walkthrough off-screen. So he can easily disguise it better.
I think he means it's easier because the controls are just more simple with a late game.
Yeah. I think the controls in this are fine.
Ah, I was right.
Not just that. It doesn't really have that much outcome.
Why can't I just put Aerith down here?
Because you need to get her up top so that she can let the ladder down.
You need to first drop the container in that place.
I don't get it. You do all this stuff, yet you don't do the whack and Aerith on the head bit.
Apparently, Teo Sakaguchi's...
Yes, Pedro?
Apparently, Teo Sakaguchi's working on a new... well, at least this was back in 2019. Apparently, Apple Arcade launched with a Sakaguchi game called Fantasian.
Oh, I heard about that, but I know not very little about it, to be honest.
So yeah, unfortunately, I am not able to get that bit of material there.
If I recall correctly, it's just another lighting or file material, so we haven't lost that much here.
To expand upon what Jova was saying, no, yeah, it boils down to that exactly. Like, remember, back in the day, when Blue Dragon was about to come out, the JRPG community was ecstatic to see a new game by Sakaguchi, you know, because Final Fantasy IX, which was his last game that he actually properly helmed creatively, was a fantastic game, you know, so what could possibly go wrong? Like, and it wasn't just the fact that it was Sakaguchi, Toriyama,
Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, the good Toriyama, not the bad one. Hold on.
And then Cloud pushes Aerith. Oh great, we stumbled into Dark Souls.
So can we.
Great.
Where there's a will, there is a way.
No, you see, Jova, Motomo is the black sheep of the family. I mean, Akira likes to not talk about so.
I mean, okay. To be fair, I guess he could be proud of his little brother for helping out with 7 and directing quite great action. And hey, you know, making Final Fantasy XII Revenant Wings, and hell, even Final Fantasy X too, which was a nice stray from the norm in Final Fantasy games.
Depends
it's Charlie's Angels, pretty much.
Depends on your perspective.
Definitely. Okay, yeah. I will admit the Final Fantasy X duology is definitely an either you'll like it, love it, or hate it sort of situation here.
That's all I was trying to say. Like, it's not one of those cases where if you're someone like me and Teo who doesn't like 10, you can at the very least find it interesting that they decide to go with this direction, and at the same time the gameplay is actually pretty good. It's basically return to the job system.
And you know what's funny? It's like,
to be honest, I did prefer how the turn-based battle system was handled in the first 10.
You know what's funny? It's like, well, some people who love 10 hate 10 too. Some people who hate 10 love 10 too. Me personally,
for good reasons, to be fair. I don't like 10, but yeah, like just because I don't like 10.
Let me put it this way, Jova. At least for me, 10 is the better gameplay. 10-2 has the better story.
I can agree with that.
That doesn't say in itself what the quality of either is.
I will say
started with 10-2.
Oh, really? How did you like it?
I didn't.
not that the story of 10-2 is all that great, mind you, but it's less pretentious and a bit more.
How pretentious can you even be when it's bloody Charlie's Angels?
Okay.
But that's exactly it. The Dwibs.
It's more light-hearted.
10 could be a bit too overly depressing at times, but
it dealt with corrupted religion, racism, and the refusal of technology.
All that fun stuff.
Let me put it like this: 10 is essentially a post-apocalyptic setting
with a giant whale fish.
But to finish my point.
Well, Aerith, why don't you go faster then?
Yes, Pedro.
But yeah, to finish my point, no, that's exactly it. Remember, like, it wasn't just the trio, you know, Sakaguchi, Akira Toriyama, and Uematsu. It was also the fact that some of the lead designers and stuff were actually key members of the Chrono Trigger team, which is, I don't know about Teo's personal pick, but to me, the best SquareSoft game ever made. So, I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Everybody was, me included, as we've talked about in our playthrough, certain that this game would deliver. Clearly, right? What could possibly go wrong?
Something. Ascension Pool.
Hello.
All right. So I get the feeling they're hiding.
It's just us.
Unless we're being watched.
Yeah, look at the fire. It's still relatively fresh. So
It's still
warm leaves.
Should we relight it? Have our own campfire?
Aerith, what the fuck are you talking about?
Aerith, what would we do with a campfire out here?
Besides,
we can pretend we're camping.
Okay, apparently we didn't stumble into Dark Souls, but into Mad Max.
Goodness gracious.
So yeah,
with a remix of the actual market film.
Yeah,
Well,
Beck, Burke, and Butch, aka three schmoes who are trying to be threatening, but they can't get their words straight.
I prefer the nicknames that they gave it for my version. I don't know if they're the same in the Japanese version, but basically the leader is the professor. There's the skinning, and the small one is the smart guy, even though he's the one that is the more stupid of the three.
You know what's interesting? I swear the guy playing Beck is the guy who plays Janja in the Lion Guard. Like he sounds exactly the same. Like I haven't actually checked, but I'll be incredibly surprised if it isn't, because he sounds exactly like Janja. Like
remind me again, hold on, Beck. There you go.
Check the actor, might as well.
Andrew Kishino. Let me check.
What else did you do?
I'm checking right now.
Okay, Aerith, ready to take point on these guys?
Yeah, these guys.
Well,
yeah, anyway, okay. So these guys are tough nuts to crack. I'm kidding. They're a cakewalk.
Also, you're right, Pedro. He is Janja in the Lion Guard.
I knew it. He literally gives Beck the exact same voice he gives to Janja.
Also,
literally the exact voice.
Also, he voiced Shredder in Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Good to know.
Neat. That was a good movie.
Butcher is voiced by Ben Pronsky. Let me see what he did.
That movie sounds like both Nickelodeon and Warner Brothers had to move heaven and earth to get that movie to happen.
If you try to actually walk into the corpses of the enemy, here you go. Or hold on.
Yep.
If you
You just move them about like they're ragdolls.
Ben Pronsky, there you go. Ben Pronsky, he was apparently miscellaneous crew in a couple of films like Deadpool and Infinity Wars. Apparently, Jova, you might be interested. He voiced Rodimus Prime in Transformers Combiner Wars. I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's a motion series of sorts.
Okay. He voiced someone in the English double Wakfu. I didn't know that.
But yeah.
But why did Cloud quit being a soldier?
Okay, who's the? I'll check in the meantime. But who's the third guy? One is Beck, the other is Butch, and the other
Burke.
Aerith.
Burke. There you go. Sean Rohani.
Anyway, Aerith, I'm a man of mystery. If I divulge my secrets to you now, I will no longer be a mysterious person, and that will severely harm my image.
Not to mention, Aerith, like, my backstory is told to us in Calm, not in here, so come on, just wait for it.
Even though the game kind of blows its load trying to reveal tiny bits and pieces here and there.
I will argue they keep the more important details still hidden, to be honest.
There's that one very big detail, though, that, you'll know when we get there.
Okay.
Anyway, want to talk about the music right now. Right now, we're hearing remixes of The Oppressed, the main theme of Wall Market. Yeah, here's the thing, folks. If you want to hear the more classical rendition of the Wall Market theme, enjoy it here, because Wall Market itself has surprisingly a different theme. Yeah, that's the weird thing. For Wall Market's actual theme in this game, it's something drastically different.
And I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna say this. I wish that they had gone with the cool ska-pop remix that they had going on with it, rather than the new thing we get in the town.
Okay, Dwibs, now you're ready for the third batch of puzzles.
And this one's the toughest.
If I can get there.
I think I saw a control
Yeah, listen to Aerith.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like I couldn't even understand too if Sakaguchi wanted to make both a more lighthearted family game and a more adult oriented game. Yeah,
I know,
honestly,
Aerith. I'm trying to get there.
There was a ladder, Dwibs. There you go. But I don't know, Pedro. I still stand on my theory that Blue Dragon simply will just rushed while most of the care was put into Lost Odyssey instead.
I agree with you. It's just that like it just shows the tremendous lack of it's so out of character.
Okay, so yeah, this particular puzzle is rather tricky. You have to, if you want the bonus thing, you have to maneuver 2 of these bloody crates around.
It's mostly too because the final product, like you said, is so un-Sakaguchi. Like he would never be able to tell it was made by him.
Well, okay, I've had a better look at Sakaguchi's games. I can actually see a lot of mannerisms that are his in Blue Dragon. It's just that they feel perverted.
Not even that, Jova. They feel unfinished, if you have to ask me.
Yeah, that too. Like, seriously, the whole...
blueprints are certain, but it's just incomplete.
Definitely. Like, the whole thing with Nene feels so half-baked, especially when they do the obvious, oh, he's not really the true bad guy thing.
Well, true, there is that.
But,
not only that...
So what's this?
Let's not
forget. What's this material I'm going to have Aerith get for us?
Oh, let's have a
blue
look.
One.
Okay, Aerith, climb on. Climb aboard the Cloudy Arms Express.
I hope this isn't a wild ride, Cloud.
Don't worry, so long as you stay perfectly in place, nothing bad will happen.
Yeah, I feel
and then
so...
Cloud keeps spinning until Aerith starts getting dizzy and vomit.
Look, Aerith, as long as you stick with me, you will be perfectly safe in life.
You know, lady, considering everything, I'm still surprised that you couldn't get the tetanus by staying in this lounge for so long.
A magnifying material.
Maybe she got her shots.
Basically, it's this game's all material.
Oh, yeah. The best use that you can get is to stick it to the yeah, in order to actually heal. Yeah, heal in order to heal everyone at the same time, or cast regen.
So yeah, some people are split on this main quest. Me personally, I like it, but I can see if people aren't really into puzzle elements, how this may seem like a bit of a slog for them.
Gotta be honest, Jova, this was very easy. I'm not sure how people are finding this difficult.
Well, considering I edited a lot of this out, I found it rather difficult.
Okay. I can see some people might find it difficult because of the different perspectives here and whatnot, and the different positioning involved or whatnot. I'm just one who minds all the the different perspectives.
The hand was just trying to wave hello.
It looked like the hand was trying to jack something off.
Yeah, sure. The metal hand felt really lonely.
There's probably Rule 34 of these hands.
Oh, I actually like the idea that the hand can turn its position from a right hand to a left hand in order to grab things, or just pretend the finger point upward. It's a cool mechanic.
Hey, Aerith, you know how you talked to flowers before, right?
Here we go. That's also, honestly, in itself, that's also another thing that keeps going for the theory that I mentioned, that this is essentially what 13 should have been, because this is one local minigame that's exclusive to this dungeon, and you have to do, later on. It just comes and goes, kind of like Pal 13 had sections like help controlling a dreadnought. Here, instead, it takes its time, it doesn't just ends in 2 minutes or anything. And, it makes it sure it's memorable.
Yes, indeed. Yeah,
I remember being really frustrated.
That is the thing, though. It's like, whether or not people liked or disliked this one, it's definitely memorable, which is something that 13 was terribly lacking in.
Well, I mean, just because something's memorable doesn't mean it's good, but...
I know.
I'd rather take what least there may be, Dwibs. Memorable, 1 is still a bigger number than 0.
True.
Well, I mean, I'd rather not remember being frustrated at something, so well, apples and oranges, or
Well, would you rather?
terminology is.
So you're one of those who would rather be bored to tears rather than being pissed off.
Yes.
Okay.
Makes sense.
That went pretty well.
All right, let's try it again. Oh.
See,
Almost got me.
No, I didn't do anything. Shut up.
No.
No.
Oh God, she's softening me up inside. I don't like
Again,
these new feelings.
Again, there is an actual payoff. We'll probably see that in the next part.
Cloud kick, remember the Cloud. Your image, man.
Yes, I have an image to maintain. No matter how cute the girl I interact with is, I still have an image to maintain. Oh good, some bandits to take out my rage on.
Pay attention to the frogs, they can steal your shit.
Without my image, I have nothing.
Well, if you defeat them, you recover the money anyway.
Before they run away, yeah.
Oh God,
So
can you imagine? Oh God.
The folks we faced earlier, they're just unconscious, but we've kill these ones.
Pretty much.
Looks like we're gonna see it now too.
Guys, if these bandits can steal your money, can you imagine how aggravating Yuffie's gonna be when we encounter her?
Here we go. By the way, you can do the David Cage thing and just hold it just as Cloud is about to and then drop it off.
There, I did it.
Oh, yeah.
Are you happy
Do
now?
not mention this. Never mention this to anyone.
Ever. I know where you live, Aerith.
Literally.
Well, more like, if you try and do anything, Elmyra will probably kick him in the nuts.
Oh, my materials!
Yeah, she'll kick him when the materials don't shine.
Yes.
Okay, so that was an interesting excursion through the sewers, or whatever they're called. Join us next time where we begin a little nice trip on the playground.
Yep, this is where the real fun of Chapter 9 will begin.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.